Beautiful life. This is Plymouth Classic Boat Rally 2015. Talking to John Watson on Shamrock.
Oh yeah, that's where we originally my mum's originally from there. I
was born in Greenwich.
Oh, was you? Yeah, that's right.
We moved back in.
Mom! Mom! Come on, go walk through the air! Yes! Come on, but jump in it! Come on, but it's massive tunnel! Come on, there's loads of tunnels!
Alright.
So what's your name?
John Rogers.
And you're part of the Barbican scene as well, aren't you?
Oh, I live on the Barbican, yeah, so
Yes.
that's why you always see me.
So how long have you been involved with the Classic Boat Rally?
Must be at least 12 years,
Yeah.
at least. I didn't get involved when they were over at Yacht Haven,
Yes.
but which is small. But as soon as they came over here, George sort of pulled me in. The
Yeah.
thing is with George, we're distantly related,
Right.
so I couldn't
It always
escape.
helps.
It's so convoluted to tell you how the system works.
Yes.
You know, but we've been doing it, George and I, we're the top boys
Yes.
looking after it. A couple of years ago, you probably
Who's
remember.
George? This other chap here?
Yeah, George.
That's George.
We just
That's
had.
George.
Oops.
That's a Nero. And yeah, remember we were over that side,
Yes.
which didn't work because they put in that sort of bit of pontoon. As soon as two people stepped on it, it went boing.
So how's it changed over the years? Has it become a lot bigger?
It's got bigger, yes, it's got bigger. It's just usually it's the same people. We see the same people every year.
Yeah.
Which once again is lovely because as soon as they come up those steps, they see George and I, and they feel at home.
Yes.
You know, they're always looking for the old grumpies. But yeah, it's got bigger. I mean, this year, not quite as big.
Yes.
And there's, I don't know how many, there's quite a number of boats haven't turned up this year because of the weather.
Yeah.
You know, if they were coming up
Because it's
from
going to
Cornwall-
change tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, if they were coming from Cornwall, there's no way they're going to push up into an easterly.
Yeah.
One or two that were supposed to come down from Dartmouth wouldn't go out of Dartmouth. One of them was a lifeboat.
Because they've got to head off for somewhere on Tuesday, haven't they? Too? Is it
Yeah, they're going down
Foy?
to Foy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if the wind's easterly, of course, it's wind behind them, they'll tear down. Yeah.
Yes.
But we think, I mean, tomorrow forecast don't look very nice.
Yeah.
So it could well be that Monday, although they're supposed to be racing, well, not racing, out there drinking cocktails, shall we say.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of them, I think, will go out and then they'll head on down to Foy. What's the point in coming back through? Yesterday, it was taking them half an hour to get through the locks.
Yes.
You know, you don't want to be hanging around doing that,
No.
getting bored.
Got them under control. Yeah.
Right. Thanks a lot for that. Anyway, I'll go and have a look around. Cheers. Thanks very much.
Not a problem.
Hello there. Oh, did you? Are you involved with Shamrock any of you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
And who are you then? You don't mind me asking?
No, I'm a volunteer. My name's John Mox.
Right.
I've been volunteering on Shamrock for a couple of years now. Normally up at Coat Hill.
And what's the story of Shamrock?
Shamrock's a Tamar Sailing barge. She's the last one built in 1899, and she's the only fully restored one now anywhere in the world. So there's one or two hulks around, and one or two of slightly different designs, but none in as seagoing condition like she is. So she's worth preserving, and she's been up at Coat Hill, the National Trust property, since 1974. She was restored up there, and she's been kept there ever since. Initially as a joint project between the National Trust and the National Maritime Museum. Now the Trust are solely responsible for her upkeep.
Yeah. So who's she been sold to?
She hasn't been sold. She's kept by the National Trust.
Right, okay.
But initially jointly she was part funded by the National Maritime Museum.
Yeah.
But that funding's come to an end, so now the Trust are solely responsible for it.
And what's the longer term history of her?
Long-term history, as I say, she's built in 1899.
Yes.
Initially, the first owner wanted her to carry manure the raw materials, if you like, from Plymouth across to Tor Point, where there was a manure works, and it was converted into briquettes then, which was brought back to Plymouth for people to burn as fuel in their fires at the time. Later in life, she would then trade further up the Tamar, carrying fertiliser, limestone to burn in the lime kilns up the valley, because obviously the Tamar Valley was a big farming and market gardening area.
Yes.
So anything they needed on the farm, sand, anything they needed to condition the soil. And then later in life she was converted to carry stone, so she would load stone at the quarries on the liner, bring across to Plymouth for various works. She then went further afield down as far as the Lizard in Cornwall to pick up roadstone from the quarries there, which she used to take up the River Fowl to the Cornwall Council depot there for use on the roads. And then latterly she was used as a diving tender and also for a bit of tin exploration in St Ives Bay. They put a drill down through the hull to drill down into the seabed. So she's had a varied life. She was working up until the late 60s when she was laid up in Who Lake in Plymouth and was being used as a scrap iron store. And that's when the Trust and the Maritime Museum got hold of her. She was rotting. She was a bit of a hulk then.
Yes.
But as I say, they spent 5 years restoring her to her, and she's restored to the condition she was in 1926. They've got a photo of the time, and that's what they use as the basis.
So how did you get involved with it?
Well, when I retired, I was just looking for something to do
You
in the time.
retired?
Yes, yeah. So 2 years ago, so I came here as a volunteer, as a meter and greeter on the Shamrock. So we open her to the public up at Coat Hill during the season, from sort of March through to October, and also try and get her out to events like this.
So have you always been involved in classical boats?
No, not always. I've got my background. I was in the Merchant Navy for 18 years, but I've never owned a boat, and then latterly I was a police officer before I retired. But I've sort of reverted now to my interest in the sea and ships generally.
Quite a contrast of jobs then.
Quite a contrast, yeah.
Right, thanks a lot for your time. Anyway.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Your brother's survived, look. So we're back now. For the whole of August. Tony Ives.
Tony Ives, you enjoyed the day so far?
Loving it, yeah, brilliant. It's
great here, cheers.
Brilliant. First time I've ever been. So.
Yeah, it's well worth coming down to this
get
event.
to play as well is great. I'm with him, helping him with the gear, really.
Cool.
This gentleman's working hard on the equipment, so.
Hello, you're right.
And he got stuck on the A38, so I just.
Well, Tony, thank you for that, Tony Ives. We're lucky we've got a whole bunch of people today, right through till 6 o'clock tonight, and it hasn't rained, has it? I don't think it has. We've now got the wonderful Andy Brice, who's, I don't know how he gets, how do we get Andy at the price we do? It must be family connections. But we've got Andy Brice coming up, who writes some wonderful songs. Andy's a bit of a regular at the Classic Boats, so if you wanted to see how Mickey Millions actually resolves, I'm sure Andy will sort it out today. But we've got some more singers and players right through. Hopefully when Andy's tuned up. We'll have some more music.
Thanks to Roger, Crabtree and Tectona. Also to Jonathan Brice and Sutton Harbor Holdings. 30 years of culture and the arts as a free service on Love Summertime TV. Don't forget to friend and share my videos, subscribe to my channel and support me through PayPal at tcsphoto1@gmail.com. Thanks for watching the video.